In this chapter, we're talking about minor scales. Minor scales differ from the major in that they're typically described as sounding sad, maybe full of longing or emotion. They could even make a song sound scary. They don't have that chipper, upbeat feeling as the major, and that's because of a different order and a different combination of the half and whole step pattern. So the easiest one to play on the piano is A minor. A goes from A to the next A on the piano, and it's all the white keys in between. So A natural minor sounds like this. You'll notice it differs from A major in that it has more of a sad sound. Here's what A major sounds like. So right away, A major, do, re, mi, but A minor, do, re, mi. If you were in choir, you learned to sing May. It's lower in certain spots, so it has that sad sound to it. Now, a song could be in major but have some minor chords, which a chord is generally the first, third, and fifth in a scale. So an A minor chord would be A, C, E. It could still be in major but have some minor chords in there that might add a little bit of that maybe anxiety or depth to the piece. But a song that's in minor is going to be written with, in A minor, it would have just the A to the A notes in there. And we'll learn about the pattern that you'll be memorizing and working on in just a sec on the staff, learning how to notate them on the staff. So that's an introduction to minor. And I urge you to go on my YouTube channel. You can just click on any of the video links in the chapter videos folder under course content. Listen to some songs that I've put on there in my minor playlist. Listen to the difference between those minor songs and major songs so that you really get that feeling for the minor scale. Let me now show you the notes on the staff that you just heard on the piano. So I'm going to show you the A minor scale, natural minor. So if someone were to write these on the staff, he, she would start here on perhaps this A. You could start on the A down here below the staff, but it's probably going to be easier just to start on the A on the second space. We're going to do the same steps we did when we wrote in our major scale. We're going to draw the notes on the staff. We're then going to write the letter names on the staff. And now you can help me figure out what the whole and half step pattern is for the minor scale, in case maybe I forgot. Okay, so between A and B, what do we have here? And remember, the A minor scale are all the white keys. There are no sharps or flats, as you just heard and saw on the piano. So between A and B, what do I have? And if we look between our A and a B, we notice there's that black key in the middle, so that is a what? Whole step. Between B and C, remember those are the two white keys, so we know that's a half step. Between C and D, what's that one? Whole step. Between D and E, what's that one? Another whole step. Now remember, E and F, those are our white keys that are next door to each other, so we know that there's a half step between those two. Between F and G, that's a whole step. Between G and A is our last whole step. So for natural minor, the pattern is as written above. Whole step, half step, whole, whole, half, and then whole, whole. And the sentence that's in your book for this one is, we heard we will have warm weather. But I'm going to change it since it's been so hot to we hope we will have winter weather. Really, you can make up your own, whatever helps you remember. This is the pattern for natural minor. So to find your natural minor key, you do it the exact same way as you did when you did your major keys, from whatever your starting note is, whether it be a regular A, whether this was an A flat, a B flat, a C sharp. Start on that starting note, draw your notes up the staff. Don't forget to always have consecutive letters. You're never going to go A, B, and then B sharp, C. It's always going to go A, B, C, D with whatever sharp or flat might need to be on there. And then your notes on the staff are always going to go line space, line space. We're never going to skip. So you've got to figure out how to keep it consecutive and adding in those sharps and flats as necessary. So this is our pattern in A minor. That's the easiest one because there are no sharps or no flats. Let's do one that's a little bit more difficult, and we're going to follow those steps that we just learned in that new sentence. So let's go ahead and let's do, how about F minor. So we're going to do F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. We're going to draw our letter names on the staff. F, A, what am I doing? Let me do that again. B, C, D, E, F. Let's write in our pattern. What was it? We heard we will have winter weather, or we hope. We hope we will have winter weather. Make sure to include all of those steps. It's not just to torture you. One reason is because then I can see your thought process on your homework, and I can see where you might have missed a half step or a whole step. I can circle it for you, and I can help you figure out where you're going wrong so that you can get all your answers right. So let's go ahead and figure this out. From F, we're going to go up a whole step. So do I need to add a sharp or a flat on that G? No, I don't. We're good to go. From G, when I go up a half step, do I need to add anything on that A? Well, if we start on G and we only go up a half step, I'm on a black key. Now, am I going to call that a G sharp? No, I'm going to call it an A flat, because remember, we're always working and we're always adding or adding that sharp or flat to the note that's to the right, to the note that's coming up. So on this note right here, I'm going to put my flat. Remember, the flat goes after the letter, but on the staff, it goes before the note because the musician needs to see it. So please don't forget that. There were a few people that were putting it behind the note, but if you put it right there, technically when I look at that, I'm going to think it goes to that B, and it's really wrong. Okay, so fix that error and make sure you put your flat before the note. All right, from A flat, if I go up a whole step, I'm on B flat. From B flat, when I go up a whole step, well, let's figure that out. From B flat, if I went up half, I'm on B. When I go up another half, I'm on plain old C, so we're good to go. From C, when I go up a half step, well, if I'm on C and I go up a half, I'm on, remember, it has to be a D something, so I'm on D flat. From D flat, when I go up a whole step, I'm on E flat. When you get to the end, it works the same way as I showed you in the major scale. If that's a whole step, you did the whole thing right. Because when you get to the end, you cannot change that last note. So if this, for some reason, is not a whole step by the time you get to the end, you probably missed something back here. And remember, if you miss just one, then it's kind of like the domino effect. There's going to be a whole bunch of them wrong. So go back and correct it. But we know that from E flat to F, it's a whole step, so you did this right. So the F minor scale has an A flat, a B flat, a D flat, and an E flat in it. Now let me show you a different way that you can go about doing your minor scales, but this is probably going to be the easiest way for most of you, is to just remember whole half, whole half, whole. Remember the sentence, that'll make it a lot easier. We hope we will have winter weather. Follow the same steps as you did for major, and your answers will be right. But let me show you another way you can also do this. This is really going to work best for those of you who might have already memorized your major scales. If you're in band or choir, sometimes you have had to memorize how many flats or sharps are in different keys to play them for when you go to contests, or some of you might just know it on your own from your own playing. So if you already know your major scale, so if I told you what's in the key of F major, and you know right offhand that F major has a B flat in it, let's go ahead, and we're writing major up here right now, okay? So I'm going to write all my notes up to F, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, and I already know that F has a B flat in it. If you're going from a major scale to a minor scale, to convert major to minor, you're just going to lower the 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees by a half step. So wait, which ones are the 3rd, 6th, and 7th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, when I say lower, that means if it's a regular letter like this A, to lower it by a half step, what am I going to put on there? I'm going to put a flat on there. So my D, same thing. I'm going to put a flat on there. E, put a flat on there. Now, if those were letters in a different key and your 3rd, 6th, or 7th already had a sharp on it, how would you lower it? So say your 3rd letter is a C sharp, just as an example. If it's a C sharp, what are you going to do? You're going to just take that sharp off because you're lowering it down. So if your 3rd or 6th or 7th is a C sharp and I'm telling you to lower it, it's it's going to become a plain old C. Now don't just blob out the C. Put a natural on there or just erase it, and then I'll know that you know. So that's the difference between the major and the minor. And I can show you that by showing you C major. So C major, we knew that was the one with all just the white keys in the key of C. That was the one we walked home when we walked home. But here is C minor. C minor, let's do it down here. We heard we will have winter weather. So notice the difference right away between the second and third. It's already different because that third is lowered. So between our D and E, we have only a half step, which means we have to make that an E flat. Between G and A is a half step now, which means you have to make that A an A flat. Since you've made that A flat, when you go up a whole step, this one's a B flat. And now at the end, is B flat to C a whole step? It is. So this shows you the difference between C major, and a lot of times you're going to see major written with a capital letter, and C minor. Minor is always often shown with a lowercase m. So the difference would be C major is all white keys, C minor, that third, sixth, and seventh is lowered. So go ahead and work on your homework for natural minor. I think that should help you out as far as the steps to take for natural minor. After you know you have natural minor down, memorize the sentence that we heard we will have winter weather, then go ahead and proceed on to your homework and your assignments regarding harmonic minor. Watch the videos for harmonic minor, and then you'll be ready for those assignments.